Now, your CBS 47 Pinpoint Weather Forecast.
Good morning, everybody. It's Friday. We're headed into the weekend, and we still have some beautiful shots of that low snow that we got. These were just sent in yesterday from Lori and Steve Brooks, the host over at the Sequoia RV Ranch, and they got snow below 1,000 feet. So this picture wins for the lowest snow there. You can see it on the background around the sign and the bushes there. And she said, a lot of people from the local area like to go camping there. It's on the way out towards Sequoia National Park, and we're surprised to see snow instead of rain down below 1,000 feet. So really cool shot there. Thanks to Lori and Steve for sending in their pictures from Sequoia RV Ranch. And Yosemite Valley, look at that, stayed pretty dry. No snow there, pretty clear on the surrounding mountains as well. That's the view from the Conservancy webcam. Didn't get much snow, just a dusting up at China Peak. They were able to make some fresh snow and have some nice conditions up there, but it's a very hit or miss system with extremely low levels, obviously, in some areas. Average temperature this time of year is 64 degrees, and we've been about 10 degrees below average over the last couple days. Hit 56 yesterday. That was about 5 degrees warmer than the day before, but in terms of rainfall, we're short 2.5 inches of rain. We're only at 2/3 of average, so we need a lot more rain, and it looks like that system we were hoping for Saturday is not going to hit us. This morning we do have a frost advisory until 9 o'clock, so you want to protect those sensitive pets and plants, but it should start warming up soon. Warmer afternoons over the next couple days, warming by about 5 degrees over the weekend, and dry and windy, especially for the mountains, as that next storm system is going to brush us to the east. You can see here are all the clouds. There's that next storm moving into the Pacific Northwest. It's not going to drop down and reach us. Instead, it's going to go through the northwest and then drop down the backside of our mountains to the east of us. So we will stay dry, but a little windy as that air moves through today for the mountains. 40 degrees in Fresno right now. Nice clear look from our Owens Mountain Skyview camera. Winds out of the southeast at 3 miles an hour, and we'll generally see those winds stay pretty light today. No worries about fog. For the afternoon, 60 in Fresno, low 60s, Merced, Los Banos, Coalinga, some upper 50s around Tulare, Visalia, and Porterville. Foothills today, you're going to see temperatures around 50 in Mariposa, 58 in Squaw Valley there, and we'll see temperatures that'll be in the mid-40s for most of the mountains, 45 in China Peak, 47 Shaver Lake, 51 in Yosemite Valley, and 37 up around 8,000 feet Lodgepole in Sequoia National Park. So overnight lows will be close to freezing, should stay just above in Lemoore and Hanford, mid to upper 30s for the rest of the valley and the foothills, 41 in Fresno overnight with 30s and 20s for the mountains. And our 7-day forecast shows temperatures in the low 60s through the weekend. Background average by Tuesday of next week, could see 70s by the end of next week. So big warming trend in store. For the mountains, you're in the upper 40s for now, low 50s by Sunday. Windy on Saturday, but should stay dry. Could see 60s by the end of next week for the higher elevations. Now let's check out our CBS 47 Pinpoint Traffic Report presented by Bank of the West. Checking out the South Valley this morning, we're looking pretty good. No major problems down the 99, down the 65 through Porterville. Everything's clear there. City of Fresno is doing well, and the North Valley has no major problems to report. We will keep you updated in just a bit on your chain requirements. Zara, back to you.
Thanks, Jenny. 6:13, we're on your side with an update on that big fire in Old Town Clovis this week.
I was like, this is here, but I smashed real good hard.
The heroic hatchet attack that made Kai famous. More from his testimony in a Fresno County courtroom.
This segment of CBS 47 is brought to you by Stanton Optical.
This morning, fire investigators in Old Town Clovis will continue to look for clues into what sparked that huge fire Monday. It is still not safe enough for crews to look around the Country Rose Antique Shop.
The reason why it hasn't been confirmed is this whole roof collapsed inside, and so we haven't had the ability to go and dig it out, and we won't until the building is condemned.
Between the building and the antiques inside, we're looking at $1 million in damage. The Clovis Fire Department did meet with other Old Town shop owners, encouraging them to get fire alarms and sprinklers, which that store did not have. This morning, Fresno police are warning truck owners to watch out for tailgate thieves. Ashton McCarn is accused of ripping one off from a Costco parking lot. Investigators say that's not the first one he's stolen. We spoke with a man who says he used to do it, and it's not that hard.
They're like a lever lock, it's like a slide lock. All you gotta do is open tailgate, and once you get those open, you just a couple bolts, you're done. Out of there.
This just been a recent increase, just within the last, last 30 days or so that we've seen one, and there's no pattern to it.
Some of the tailgates cost thousands of dollars to replace, but there are locks you can buy at local auto parts stores. The hatchet-wielding hitchhiker made famous after a bizarre attack on a PG&E worker may take the stand again this morning in Fresno County.
Where are you from?
That's a pretty deep philosophical question right there.
Let's just say it was an interesting day in court with Kai. CBS 47's Tony Body takes a look at his testimony.
The testimony provided by 24-year-old Caleb McGilvery, a.k.a. Kai the Hitchhiker, was in a word, unforgettable. He lashed out toward the defendant, Jet McBride.
This ain't your sick game. There's people, Jess.
And Kai also reflected on smoking marijuana with McBride and the moments leading up to where the defendant allegedly crashed his car into a PG&E worker on purpose.
He's like, well, I've come to realize I'm Jesus Christ and I can get away with anything I want to. And then he steered right towards him. It was broad f***ing daylight. There's no way he couldn't have seen that. I mean, like, that was f***ing sick. Not in a good way.
The PG&E worker, Rayshawn Neely, broke his leg and several toes. He spoke about his intense pain while pinned between two vehicles.
They give you a scale of 0 to 10, I'll give probably about 15.
Tanya Baker testified that McBride attacked her while she tried to rescue Neely.
He put me into a bear hug and was hitting me on the back.
Then Kai stepped in with his hatchet, hitting McBride over the head not once, not twice, but 3 times.
And he's still holding on to her hair. I was like, this f***ing ass here, bud. I smashed him real good and hard.
A big moment came when McBride showed remorse as Neely left the courtroom.
Sorry, really, Sean.
As for Kai, he was polite with prosecutors, but disrespectful toward McBride's defense attorney.
So I've got a question for you. Can you define point? Are you talking with the index finger, with the middle finger? Do you understand the word implicit?
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
CBS 47 legal analyst Carl Fowler says an unruly witness is a lawyer's worst nightmare, and it could prove to damage the prosecution's case.
Because the judge or the jury is going to perhaps blame you for the fact that now their time is here being wasted by somebody that is just turning it into a circus.
Tony Body, CBS 47 on your side.
It is 6:20, upper 30s outside our studios. Let's see what Mike Scott's up to.
We are going to make a unique cheesecake this morning, Zara. Guess what one of the ingredients is going to be? Modelo Light beer, believe it or not. Yeah, our friends from Benediction have put together a pretty unique recipe.
Tonight. Now, your CBS 47 pinpoint weather forecast.
Good morning, everybody. We're checking out our satellite. Sarah and I are cracking ourselves up this morning. Had a couple clouds. Stopped there, roll through yesterday, and sunshine today, and our next storm system is going to roll north of our area as well. So nice if you're headed toward the coast. Low 60s from San Francisco down to San Diego. You'll see 68 in LA, 40 in Tahoe with a 30% chance of snow showers, and 64 in Vegas over the weekend. 60 in Fresno today with that frost advisory till 9. Then a warmer afternoon. We'll see that warming continue into the weekend. Sunset time is 5:47. Air quality is good to moderate, so you are allowed to burn wood. No restrictions, and your Boz mold count still pretty high. 8 out of 10. Pollen is low with juniper, birch, and ash in the air. If you're in the foothills today, you'll see upper 30s at 8 o'clock, low 40s by 10 with 53 for your high today. A little breezy but sunny. And for the mountains, temperatures there in the upper 40s to low 50s through the weekend. Again, we've taken out that chance of snow on Saturday. We need it, but looks like we'll stay dry. We'll be windy. We could see 60s next week, and the mountains could see 70s for the valley next week. For now, though, around the low 60s. Now let's check out our CBS 47 pinpoint traffic report presented by Bank of the West. Starting off in the Madera area, Road 23 and Avenue 14, we've got a stoplight out there, so you do want to make sure you treat that as a 4-way stop. City of Fresno is looking okay this morning, and a little further down south, 65 and Highway 65 and Pioneer toward the Porterville area. We also have a stoplight out there. So again, whenever you come across those, treat it as a 4-way stop and be sure to watch for other people who are flying through those. We'll keep you updated throughout the morning.
Local food trucks are taking part in a cook-off with dishes inspired by a new beer launched locally. We do have the giggles, but I promise you, we have not started drinking the Modelo Light yet.
We promise. Mike Scott's holding all that. He has not given any to us. He's not sharing.
I don't know. This 12-pack is pretty light right now.
Hey now.
Hey, how many times has Cheesecake Factory been here, and they've never yet made us a beer cheesecake? But we're going to make one this morning with our friends from Benediction, one of 3 local food trucks that Modelo Light invited to come up with a unique recipe including one of their beers. So you, cheesecake made with beer.
Yeah, you know, they gave us the beer. They said you got to make some sort of recipe, but gave us no real guideline as to what to make. And we figured everybody else would be making a meat of some kind, so we decided to go the opposite direction.
You wanted to be different. This is James Caples, of course, from Benediction. All right, so when I think of cheesecake, I think of it as a very complicated thing to make, but you have some real just basic ingredients here.
No, cheesecake is much more about the system than it is the really complicated ingredients.
What do you have, and throw it in there?
Well, we've got cream cheese is really obviously the primary ingredient. For a full recipe, you're going to use 1.5 pounds, and right now I've just got 8 ounces here. Half
a pound and a half of cream cheese.
Oh yeah, you know, you got to make sure it's nice and rich. And to the cream cheese at first, you're going to add just a little bit of sugar. And for a full recipe, you're going to use about 1.25 cups, but today we're just going to use about.
And we're going to have this recipe on our website after the show for anybody that wants to make it.
That's right.
I see lots of eggs there.
All right, yeah. Full recipe is going to be 6 eggs. We're going to actually wait to add those. We want to melt this, get nice and creamy first. And like I said, it's really about the system when you're making the cheesecake. You want to make sure you're putting things in the right order. You're letting them get done well.
Is that a little bit of vanilla bean down there, I see?
That's fresh vanilla bean. You can use extract. You know, extract's a perfectly legitimate ingredient. You can get some really great ones, but I figured if we're doing it, we might as well do it right, you know?
All right, now everybody's saying, all right, what happened to the beer? That's going to go in your caramel sauce, right?
Well, the beer actually does go in the body of it as well, just a small amount. It helps aerate it a little bit, just ties the two flavors together. But yeah, the majority of the beer goes in the caramel sauce that goes over the top.
And of course, when you bake this, all of the alcohol content disappears. So it's safe for anybody to eat, right?
That's right, that's right. And when you're adding these eggs, you want to add them once at a time. But anytime you cook alcohol, which is a wonderful ingredient, especially for desserts and breakfast. People don't often think of it for breakfast, but it really does go well, you know, bourbon, maple syrup, and things like that. But yeah, when you cook it, all the alcohol dissipates out. You're not going to, you know, do anything like get your niece drunk or anything like that.
All right. Listen, we're going to continue to mix all these ingredients together. When we come back, we're going to show you how to make that caramel sauce. And if you want to taste this unique cheesecake, this caramel cheesecake made with Modelo Light beer, the Benediction food truck will be out at the Water Tower later on today, Zara. And then Saturday at Bella Fruta, Shepherd and Willow. And they're going to have this cheesecake through their truck for the next few days or so until they run out of it.
Sounds good. Thanks, Mike. James is our kind of guy.
That's right. He said alcohol for breakfast, so.
I mean, this is our lunchtime, first of all. We're almost done with work. You know, there are things called mimosas and Bloody Marys and Modelo Lights.
And there you go. He's combining dessert, alcohol, and breakfast. We love him.
Win!
All right, 2 minutes till 6:30, 6:28, 38 degrees.
A very worldly edition, sorry, Jenny, of Cool Schools this week. Mike Scott has that story for you.
And not getting the job done, this year's flu shot not working well in one group of people.
And a huge announcement 2 hours later from the judge in the Oscar Pistorius case in South Africa. Guess what? He's out on bail now.